What? What is that? Last video? Fucking clickbait! Everything for the views, everything for the money. Well, I better do not waste that money on something stupid. Hey, what's up, what's poppin'? It's Bubs, and welcome to the last video in 2017. Oh! We are on December 31st, 2017. Oh my god, where did this year go? And end of the year, it's kind of a weird time because I don't know about you, but for me it just comes naturally to think about how this last year was. You know, how it was it good, was it bad, was it okay? Or yeah, also it makes you think what will be next, what next year will bring to you, what next year will bring to us. And I mentioned it a few times already, so some of you, maybe most of you know it, that 2016 for me was the worst year of my life. It was shit. It was pure poop. And I remember December 31st, 2016 being a weird one. It was really a weird last day of a year. Because, you know, after having that bad of a year, I was not really having any expectations towards next year, towards 2017. Only thing I was doing was just telling to myself, oh, 2017, please be good, please be good, please be good. But at the end, I don't know if it was more of a high hopes or some leftovers of faith. But I was just telling it to myself without actually believing in it, and it kinda sounded empty. And maybe I was doing it, maybe not to disappoint myself, because at the point where I was then, another disappointment, like one more disappointment, maybe would be one too much, you know. And now, today, 1 year later, on December 31st, 2017, I can say that 2017 was actually a good one. It was a pretty good year. You know, and during this year I had quite a lot of challenges, like finishing my education, looking for a new apartment, my first apartment to rent in a foreign country while I was living the life before in a student house, you know, and was all easy and simple, and now you have to look for a house for yourself. And you know, also struggles with job, juggling between jobs, you know, looking for a job and education. Like, yeah, it was all challenging, and at the time being it was also stressful a lot. But I can tell that, you know, from the few months perspective, I can tell that it was actually a good lesson. It was a good lesson to take, it was a good lesson to learn. And of course, in the meanwhile, there were all those small poopy things, you know, that were happening. But if you look from the time perspective, it's something to learn. It's a new lesson you take, you know. You can take it as an experience. Take it as a lesson. And year 2017 was a good one, was a good year in quite a lot of matters. I got to meet great people, and I was setting myself some small goals. You know what I will be doing next month, in 2 months. That in the moment where I was, they were helping me quite a lot. You know, like new tattoo. Or going abroad to visit your friends and such, you know. And those were the things to look forward to, and that were keeping my mind occupied, and they were helping me to, like, not to think about the struggles, you know, not to think about worries. But I remember it was actually not a long time ago, before a trip to London in November, when I met my cherubs. I was like starting to stress a little bit before that trip, because it was like my last goal I set. I haven't had anything planned after, and I started to panic a little bit, like, oh my god, like, what what I'll be doing next, you know, what I'm gonna do next. Like, I have to find something right away, like, to look forward to, because if not, then what will happen in my head, bro? But yeah, after that trip, I realized I got myself to think that there is nothing to be afraid of, because, yeah, because there is so much to look forward to. And yeah, when I was back at home, actually, yeah, I was not scared anymore, because the thing is that almost all my life, my biggest fear was to be alone. I was alone for quite a bit of time, you know, and it was always like rotating, it was always changing, you know. And I think for the first time in so long, I can tell with confidence that I'm not scared anymore to be alone. From this perspective, when 2016 was a shit of a year, was a crappy year, then I started new year with a blank page, with a clean piece of paper to write on. Actually, I don't even think I have a clean piece of paper like to show it, but everybody saw a clean piece of paper, god damn it. So yeah, like, you start new year with new imaginary piece of paper, like totally clean one. And yeah, even though that this 2016 year page was full of crap, full of bullshit and full of bad things, then 2017 hops on and I'm getting a new one. And, you know, even though, yeah, like, it doesn't cut off totally with the new year, but yeah, even though this 2016 stink was wandering still around in the room, I had this new blank page to write on. That was just mine, and I could fill it in with whatever I want. And this thought that I have this blank page, despite all this nasty and poopy one from the last year, helped me actually quite a lot, because it made me think that I'm strong enough to let a bit of those crap away, you know, go away, and that I refuse to sink. I refuse to sink, bro. So yeah, I had this new page to overwrite it with dope and awesome stuff. And I think that in some matter I nailed it. So then, do I have any plans for 2018 for this new upcoming year? No, not really. Because I always sucked at New Year's resolution, like, it never lasts long, never. But all I know is that I hope that the awesomeness from 2017 will just continue. And if it will, then it would be great enough, it will be awesome. Maybe there is just one wish or hope that I would have for 2018. It's like to find a job in my education, a steady, full-time one. And if I will find this job, I'm doing a motherfucking front flip. And the last thing I want to mention in this video is a story I heard when I was taking my Norwegian language and culture class last year. And yeah, this story got me thinking in my poopy days. I had some poopy days last days, but then I remind myself about this story and it got me thinking. You know, we all have those poopy days where our insecurities and anxieties are taking over. So yeah, having those poopy days lately. I reminded myself about this story from a Norwegian mythology. Mythology? Mythology. What? Then I reminded myself about this bit from Norwegian mythology. Nailed it. About Helder. In Polish it's Huldra, but I think in English and Norwegian it's Helder. So what is Helder? Helder is a female equivalent of troll. Probably you heard about trolls, probably. And they live in a forest, and they were described as most beautiful women, but there was one thing. Hilda had a long cow or fox tail. That kind of thing ain't make you any prettier, huh? But yeah, but if a guy fell in love in Hulder and got to marry her, if he really fall in love with her, then she was losing her tail. The tail was falling out. So that's a spell of love, right? Like, you know, you have all those stories where they live happily ever after. But my thoughts about it brought me somewhere else. Like, what if that ugly tail is all of your worries, all of your insecurities and anxieties? And you know, all of them are packed in a tail. And even though you might not see it all the time, but it's somewhere there, you know, then you eventually you see it, you remind yourself about it, it bothers you, and it sucks, it drags you down a little bit, doesn't it? So maybe if you love yourself, yeah, if you see how beautiful you are on the inside and outside, that you are an amazing person, this tail will just fall, this tail will just come off, you know? It will come off and it won't bother you anymore. So for this upcoming 2018, I wish you all a happy new year. Damn! All the best, lots of fun tonight, and for those who are allowed to, no hangover tomorrow. 2018, let's rock! And I wish for you to see how beautiful you are and to fall in love with yourself. Thank you guys for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next year.